Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Rita's Book Club. On this episode, I'm reviewing Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonam-Young. This is the second book of the Out series, and I just wanted to know more about Sarah and Caleb. They were such a cute couple in Out on a Limb that I wanted to know their backstory and how life was going to be for them. High school sweethearts Sarah and Caleb Lanewood have always been a sure thing. For the past 17 years, they have each other's backs through all of life's ups and downs, achievements, losses, stages, and phases. But Sarah has begun to wonder who she is without her other half. When she decided to take on a project of her own, a fundraising gala in memoriam of her late mother, Sarah wants nothing more than to prove to herself and to everyone else that she doesn't need Caleb's help to succeed, that she is still her mother's daughter after all, independent and capable. It is until the event fails and Caleb uninvitedly steps in to save the day. The rift that follows unearths a decade of grievances between them and doubts begin to grow. Are they truly the same people they were when they got married at 19? Are they supposed to be? In a desperate attempt to fix what they fear is near breaking, Sarah and Caleb make the spontaneous decision to join a grueling hiking trip intended to guide couples through rough patches. What follows is a life-altering it's a life-affirming comedy of errors of two diverse people fight their way out of the woods in order to find their way back to their roots. This was such a lovely story, and I was obsessed with Sarah and Caleb's story dynamic. They were just comfortable together, and they knew each other on such a deeper level that it was hard to believe that these two weren't going to solve their issues. First things first, I have to give a huge shout out to Anna for the way she created the story. We started the book already feeling the tension and seeing them going through some marital problems, but I absolutely loved how the author intersected that with chapters that told us about their past, how they met, fell in love, got married, and essentially become each other's person. That's truly a beautiful way to do it because we totally know that they would work through their issues and be fine. It wasn't even a doubt I had in my mind. And most of all, I believe that this is a story of them working through an early 30s crisis by reinventing themselves and creating common goals. They are both stagnant in time. Their days are exactly the same. They have a routine and stick to it. But there are cracks. They got married so young and started a life so soon that they both don't know how to be individuals and to set goals. I love that by the end of the experience, they were able to get there as individuals and as a couple. Sarah was so fierce and brave. I know she was having some issues feeling confident and that she had a purpose in life, but she went through so much at such a young age. One of their counselors told her something that rang so true to me, that she went from being a daughter to a child to being a caretaker to then being a wife. She had no in between and a chance to just make wild mistakes. It only began with Sarah and the grief she was still going through. Her mother's death was such a sad moment in the book, and she needed time to find herself and to grieve her best friend. Carol always helped, but she still had some restrained feelings that she needed to deal with. And Caleb was just a helper and a sweetheart. We knew her so deeply, but he was stuck in a time where everything was perfect and he would always be there to love Sarah and support her. He also needed to discover himself and to see things differently with his business and the people that surrounded him. It was also cute that we got to see him reconnect with his family in a way. He also needed that to move on and create a new life. Finally, I have to give huge kudos to the couples that went with them on the experience. They created some funny and insightful moments that were a joy to read. And of course, Win and Bo and their little one. I loved seeing them on the page again, and I just adore their characters. Also, the connection and family they created with Sarah and Caleb was truly amazing. Honestly, I became a fan of Anna's books, and so I'll definitely check out her other series called Next. So as always, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Rita's Book Club for more content. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Happy readings.